The color green gives a strong connotation of nature, youth, and love. There is also a darker side to the color, where the characters experience jealousy, sickness, and greed. However, both are wild and can be tamed. In the first scene of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight is first introduced at a New Year's party with King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. In this scene, the color green symbolizes nature and youth. In Section 8 of the story, the Green Knight is described as all garbed in green, this giant and his gear. He is also holding a holly branch, which is exactly what the color symbolizes: nature. The Green Knight challenges the Knights of the Round Table to cut off his head and in 1 year meet him at the Green Chapel to return his favor. Sir Gawain, the youngest knight, volunteers. This action symbolizes him being immature and youthful. Wonder at his hue men displayed, set in his semblance scene, he fared as a giant were made, an overall deepest green.
In Celtic mythology, the color green was connoted with misfortune and death, so it was often avoided in clothing. However, in the beginning of the story, we see the Green Knight fully clothed in green, thus representing that he will bring misfortune to Gawain.
Green is a color that is usually associated with youth, growth, and nature. To test this common association, we asked 2 7th graders what first comes to mind when they see the color green.
Okay, so what comes to your mind when you think of the color green?
Nature.
So what type of things? And what do you think of when you think of the darker side?
Green and grass.
So like nature?
Yeah.
What do you think when you talk about the color red?
Blood.
Okay, associate with the color red.
Love, anger.
Okay, thank you.
Good job! Another symbol in the poem is the color red. However, unlike green, its meaning changes throughout the story. In the beginning of the poem, it symbolizes Gawain's shame and embarrassment, but also his passion and bravery. He leaves Camelot with his red gold banners gleaming and a red pentangle on his shield, an example of his bravery and passion. It changes again throughout the middle of the story when the Lord hunts the red fox, which represents dishonesty. And finally, it changes one last time at the end of the story when Gawain accepts the green girdle and not the red ring. The ring symbolized the lust that the lady feels for him, which he did not take. Go.
Here's the red ruby ring.
In this scene, the lady tries to give Sir Gawain a red ruby ring. The red symbolizes lust and seduction.
No. Well, here's the green girdle. It's a lover's token.
Oh, thank you. I guess I'll take it.
She then gives him a green girdle.
The lady explains that the green girdle is a lover's token that represents chivalric love rather than lust.
The Green Chapel represents nature and that the chapel is literally covered with grass or ivy and is basically part of the hill. In Section 88, we see Gawain quote that the Green Chapel is overgrown with weeds and that the chapel is of mischance.
The Green Chapel is hardly 2 miles from the castle of the Green Knight or the Lord. The directions to the castle are unknown. After Gawain leaves, the description of his route becomes increasingly vague, showing that it was mysterious and in the heart of nature, which all connects back to the color green. Then he goes to the barrow, and about it he walked,
Debating with himself what it might be,
It had a hole at each end and on either side,
and was overgrown with grass and great knots.
and all was hollow within,
Not but an old cave,
or a crevice of an old crag.
he could not distinguish it well.
Section 87.
The quote shows that the Green Chapel is basically part of nature. It also represents wild and untamed side of green. In summary, the color green represents nature.
Its darker side also represents envy and jealousy.
Both And the darker side and the lighter side have something in common, which is
They are both wild,
And untamed.
but can be tamed.
Also, the green chapel represents wilderness and nature.
Another color is red. It symbolizes lust, seduction, and anger.
stop.
Green, green, green. I love the color green.
So, Linnea, what does green mean to you?
Just say like
Green. I guess puke or something?
Green, green, green. I love the color green. It
Green, 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 red.
green, green, red, 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 red.
Blue.
No!
Oh.